You guys ever heard of this this Odyssey Interactive company? I think they had something to do with the re-release of a game you guys maybe know the music from that I'm listening to. I think they had something to do with Omega Strikers, right? So we're gonna watch a trailer for a new playable prototype by the makers of Omega Strikers. It's called Byte Breakers, and it's a 2D platform fighter battle royale. Sounds weird, but maybe it's weird enough to catch some attention and become the new hotness, right? I think people like platform fighters. I think platform fighters are the most accessible generally when it comes to fighting games, and they're also probably the easiest to market, right? Because you can just be like, oh, it's a Smash clone. It's a Smash clone. It's like Smash. It's just like Smash, right? Even if it's not, even if they have very different audiences, akin to like something like Rivals of Aether, which is very much so more competitively focused and significantly less casually viable. Something like Brawlhalla, which is like an extreme, casual fest. But I mean, there is a competitive scene, but it's made to be casually fun and casually enjoyed, just like something like Smash. And then there's other things like Slap City. There was Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. We're not going to talk about Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion. There was countless platform fighters. I don't want to call them Smash clones. I think calling something a Smash clone is disingenuous to say that you can't have a spin-off genre of platform fighters because of a game. But Smash isn't even the first platform fighter. It's just the first one to get big. And because it was the first one to get big, everyone's going to call it. That's like calling every 2D fighting game a clone of Street Fighter now. I think we're far past that. We've exceeded that mindset, hopefully, and now we can get into maybe creating cooler and better innovations in the genre. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at Byte Breakers.
This time with some fun news. It's been almost 9 months since you last heard from us, and since then, the whole Odyssey team has been cranking away at some new game prototypes.
New game prototypes?
Blend of genres
Question
that you haven't
mark?
seen before, because as a studio, we'd rather try something crazy and fail than just make a game that you feel like you've already played. It's a scary process, but it's also kind of awesome because taking risks is why we started a brand new studio in the first place.
So, this may be a little crazy, but today we want to show you one of those prototypes. And in a few days, have some of you play it. This is early gameplay footage of what we're currently calling Byte Breakers.
I like the name, Byte Breakers. Is this music TOS? Am I cooked? Is this music TOS? We'll rewatch the trailer after, or the gameplay after just watching it through one time. We'll kind of talk about what I've noticed and what I see. This game looks extremely slow.
We'll probably be calling this something
Interesting.
Like
Okay.
Smash Battle
Fair enough.
Royale. And let's be real.
Like Smash Brawl slow? Brawl's not slow.
Right now looks a little ass.
Brawl's just really floaty, but it's not slow.
We envision that by taking aspects of the multi-team environment, big open map, power progression, information asymmetry, and just general strategic decision-making of BRs, smashing those together with solid fundamentals from Smash, we can let players have wild experiences that they'd never find in a straight-up platform fighter. Parts of it will feel familiar, but we hope that as a whole, it's a new experience. So to call out the elephant in the room, making a platform fighter is scary.
Yep.
You're going to always be compared to one of the greatest gaming series of all time.
I'm going to pause right there. Making a fighting game is tough because you're always going to be compared to one of the greatest franchises to ever exist, Street Fighter. Like, I mean, yeah, Street Fighter is probably not as known as Smash, right? Maybe Street Fighter is not as known as Smash. It's just in some dystopian future. But putting your hat into the ring of fighting games but making something more unique or innovative is a good thing. Like, there's tons of platform fighters that stand on their own two legs without being called a Smash clone, and I think that's really cool.
But to us, that's also exciting. We're not trying to make a better Smash. We're trying to build an evolution of the genre that Smash started way back when we were kids.
I love that.
At the end of the day, though, the only thing that really matters is
what exactly, Arliss. You get it.
Does it feel fun and unique when you play it?
My chat's not showing up.
You could see yourself playing with your friends. Or should we even be making this thing, or should we just go next? With Omega Strikers, we learned firsthand the risks of keeping things under wraps for too long. and we felt the pain of having to move on from something that we
My
poured
chat's not
3
showing
years
up.
of our
Weird.
passion into. For all of our next projects, we want to hear what you think much, much earlier. So, in a few days, we're going to start up a playtest on Steam where we let a few thousand of you in to try out the prototype. It's fully public, so feel free to talk about it with your friends.
This game is going to be called
about it,
Byte
or even
Breakers.
stream it. We want
Byte
to hear what
Breakers.
you honestly think. To get in, just go to the Steam page for Byte Breakers and request playtest access. From there, we'll be letting groups of players in as we make sure that the server infrastructure is scalable.
I don't know why you guys aren't showing up on screen. I'm so
That
sorry.
part of the project's kind of a prototype too.
Not
To
working.
make sure that we're super clear on expectations, we may not end up actually making this prototype. We may not end up making the next prototype we show you either, but we think that this type of public testing is the best way of figuring out if our ideas have juice. We trust you, and we trust your feedback. So get in there and let us know what you think.
Hell. Finger guns.
He just did finger guns. That was crazy. Okay, I want to go back and look at the gameplay part of that again, real quick, and just kind of think about it, dissect it a little bit more. I wish locals were happening. I've been feeling the itch for a Street Fighter comeback. People still play at locals. There's just no tournaments for Street Fighter, but people still play. We play every week. All right, let's take a look. I saw something that's actually important, but I fiend for tournaments. Then try to get one. Try to get one. Be like, yo, we running a bracket, boys? You see that right there? That's a fucking shield, boys. That's all that matters. That's a shield, and that is a shield grab. There's grabs and there's shields. I don't like... the only platform fighter I think feels good without shields is Rebels of Aether. I don't think any other platform fighter, I don't care who you are, I don't care if you're Multiverses, I don't care if you're Brawlhalla, I don't care if you're any other irrelevant platform fighter. If you don't have a shield on your platform fighter, I think your platform fighter sucks. Not named Rebels of Aether. Sorry. So this is the first thing that got me. When I saw this in the original trailer, when I saw this, I was like, oh, thank God, a fucking block button. Right? And the reason why is not just because I'm a big-time hater of fighting games and platform fighters that don't have block buttons or blocking as a mechanic. It's mostly because sitting in shield while someone is trying to get out of storm seems like a good idea. Sitting in shield when you are fighting one person and another one pulls up on you and you have to stop what you're doing to adjust for a third or fourth person trying to attack you seems like a good idea. If you made this game look and feel and play like something Multiverses like, or Brawlhalla like, I would probably instinctually have bounced right off without even attempting the playtest, which I did try to get into. So we'll see if we get in. Let me show you guys. Yeah, I already hit request access. I've already done that, right? So if I feel as if the game's not catering to my needs as someone who likes platform fighters, I'll just bounce right off, and I think that's totally fair and it absolutely makes sense. So kudos to the developers really starting with a shield and then deciding if it needs to be taken away or not, right? Or maybe shields would be too powerful in this build or too weak in this build, but they could adjust accordingly, which once again I think is phenomenal that they're at least starting with it, and they're starting with grabs. Grabs are really only necessary because of shield, but this means in situations where there's stalemates because of shield, there is a stalemate breaker. And that grab didn't look fucking slow like Rumbleverse. How Rumbleverse's Vicious's were all extremely slow, very easy to react to, and created a sort of, you know, rock, paper, scissors where rock was extremely heavily weighted because everything was, yes, it's the same people as the Mega Strikers, because blocking was so heavily weighted because unblockables, i.e. grabs, vicious attacks, were very reactable. Unreactable offense in fighting games is very important. I don't care if you're playing a platform fighter or traditional fighter. You especially probably want to make sure that there's offense that's unreactable and something with multiple players, so that people aren't sitting in shield doing nothing. Because I can promise you that I've played games where offense is reactable and it was a battle royale, and because offense was reactable, most people sat in shield. Talking about Rumbleverse once again. I really love that game and I'm a big fan of it, but I'm also a big critic of it. So this is like the next step down, right? When you think of Rumbleverse, you think of like a 3D platforming fighting game, because it was a sense a platformer, because you could climb up on the buildings and elbow drop off the buildings and jump off cars and, you know, air dodge to a building or air dodge to a light post. There was traversal platforming elements in that game. There will also be traversal platform elements in this game, but it looks like it's more in something like a Metroidvania style, right? Where there's separate arenas that all lead into one big arena. Now watch this. They get dropped into this arena. But look where they are. Look at the map, right? They're on the map. You can see that they are in one specific arena, but they could go to the side to get to another one or go down. Look at all these separate arenas. And there's probably some button or some portal to connect you to the next arena as you need to get there so that you're not attempting to run out of one arena into the next while being chased by the storm, right? And, like, they show it in this shot, but surely this isn't the end-all be-all of the way to play the game. Like, this isn't going to be the most common thing that's going to happen. You're almost always going to, like, maybe win your win your little sector of players, kind of like Bomberman. What is it called? Bomberman 64. Not Bomberman 64. Bomberman. The Battle Royale in Super Bomberman R2. How you play in one map, you basically win your map or narrow down the players in that map, and then it throws you into another map with some of the players who have lived through their map as well. And I think that's mostly what it's looking like. But then, of course, as you're on a map, sitting there doing nothing, trying not to play, trying not to interact and engage, there will now still be a storm to get rid of some of those maps that need to be phased out and to bring all the players ever closer to one another. What scares me is if the logical conclusion of this game is holding shield and doing nothing and being as passive as possible, how many people are going to end up in final circles? I think about, once again, I'm going to mention Rumbleverse, and Rumble Club kind of works the same way whenever you have a lot of good people in a lobby. Final circles have a lot of players. Rumbleverse, the high level play, like the big grapples and the lobbies I was in with people like TuboWare and Kin and Flea Guy, Triumph, Casual Tay, there would be like 8 people, 9 people, sometimes even 15 people final circle. That shit's not okay in a 40-man battle royale. That's a lot of people to be cluttered into one area when the map is supposed to be meant to be dispersed out and kind of get distilled as you basically win your matchmaking, right? You like win your matchmaking and you're like, yeah, time to move on to the next rank, baby. But instead, if it becomes more passive, if there's no way to stop people from camping out and then all deciding to transition to the next map or the next part of the stage, what's to stop that from happening? Interesting. It seems that there's some like really close range fighters and then fighters that have tons of like projectiles and stuff. Also, is this going to do damage? It does on the way down. Wow. See, like, and that seems to be some sort of a final smash. I don't know if they're trying to have supers. Look, I'm not a hater of supers. Like, some people don't like supers in fighting games. They think supers are stupid. But me personally, I don't mind them. I think supers are really cool. There we go. I think supers are really cool, but I don't think they've always worked out well for traditional Smash players. A lot of traditional Smash players are just not a fan. They don't like the way that they make the game feel. Which, I mean, at the end of the day, it is a preference, but you probably need these bigger stalemate breakers and ways to create a comeback mechanic when you're talking about a battle royale. Because now we're not just talking about a platform fighter, we're also talking about a battle royale. Right? When you look at battle royales, there's tons of insane, ridiculous weapons or buffs or pickups or power-ups that you can get to break through a stalemate or to break through a disadvantaged state. That happens a lot. Like, I even think about Rumble Club. We can mention a battle royale that I play a lot that I think is really neat. I think everyone should go play some Rumble Club. Something like Magnet or Hamster Ball or Boombox. Those are absolutely just 100% stalemate breakers. Doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter how far you are. If you are no longer interacting and you don't want to interact, okay, interact with this Boombox and die. With how small the map is now. Okay, interact with this magnet. Oh, wait, you can't. Haha, right? Uninteractable. Especially when the maps become more compact with more people. This is like a stalemate breaker where you can take out multiple players all at once that are sitting in that beam, not choosing to move. And I think that's pretty cool. I would like to see what the other supers look like, but it's cool that they at least showed a super so that if there's something that turns you off, if you don't like the idea of a super in a platform fighter, you're immediately backing out. You're like, nope, nah, I don't want nothing to do with this.
We'll all probably be calling this something like...
Okay, my chat's not showing up.
And let's be real.
I think a super would be kind of necessary in a BR like this. It's not like they can make long, drawn-out cinematics that you can't do shit about, at least. Yeah, I think like Link Final Smash. Remember Link's how he like puts you in the fucking Triforce, he beats your ass. You probably couldn't really do that, right? Because you'd have to give it that move like that intangibility, and it would mean that you can use that to like snipe people out of the storm, and the people behind you can't do shit about it. Right, like there's a guy, yo, what up, Chewy? Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your work shift. So, say you're fighting someone and they're stuck in storm, they're here, and you're here, but you have 3 or 4 other people behind you. If they made one of those invulnerable, long drawn out cinematic Final Smash type deals or super move type deals, then what would happen is you get to hold this guy with your super ridiculous super move, and all the people behind you can't do anything about it because you are fully invulnerable. That's scary, right? Like, to say the least. That means like if you were just the last guy in the circle, if you were just the unluckiest player that map, that rotation, you're cooked. You just got fried, and it's not really your fault. There's nothing you can do about that. That is kind of the necessary. I'm sorry. That is kind of the nature and randomness of a battle royale, but it doesn't inherently feel good to die that way, and it would probably become more commonplace if they made those kinds of cinematics and supers. But yeah, so I think from what we've seen, I'm interested, right? I've already signed up for the playtest. If you guys want to as well, remember the game is called Byte Breakers. It's currently going to go live for its gameplay prototype reveal on Friday. So if you want to get in, just go there, hit on wishlist, and then do the Byte Breakers prototype. Do the playtest. I'm going to sign up for the playtest. Hopefully, it's going to be at least, yeah, team up with friends to fight in massive multiplayer lobbies. I was gonna say hopefully it's at least team based, and there it is, right there. Use wicked ability to smash people into the wall at like 95 miles an hour. Okay. Escape the glitch zone and try to be the last team standing. Okay, so is it only going to be team based, or will it be solo? That's another thing to think about, right? Because they didn't actually mention that. Let's read more and take a little bit of a look before we move on. Dive bomb at Mach speed from great heights to crush unsuspecting enemies below. Oh yeah, they got elbow drop. Let's go. They got rumble versus elbow drop from the top rope. Defeat AI goons to gather powerful gear like dash boots that let you run up walls. Okay, so there's a PvE incentive, right? You can fight against enemy AI to kill them to get extra loot or better loot. So there is some sort of a looting system. That's neat. Find hacks that can let you turn your shield into a meaty death ball. Yeah. So not only is there loot, there's also like power-ups. Okay. So they're taking it as boots on the ground, as close to being a traditional battle royale as possible. They're not like taking out certain core aspects of the battle royale, like looting, because a battle royale without looting isn't really a battle royale. Like, if we're completely honest, like that's one of the things that I thought was interesting and maybe divided Outrage from other battle royale type moves to other battle royale type games. Is Outrage doesn't have looting, right? You can pick up health packs like an arena shooter, or you can pick up weapons like an arena shooter, but otherwise you are just fighting it out and fighting for rage. That's the whole mechanic of the game. And because of that, it makes it so that there's no looting, and that whole looting aspect is completely removed from the battle royale unless you get into the action, out of the action faster. Right? But that also means there's less likely to be stalemate breakers outside of weapons, which is a little shitty for those who are used to the idea of, it's stalemate breakers and comeback mechanics in their battle royales. This game, on the other hand, seems to have that, which is good. And it makes it more of a traditional battle royale. Something like Rumble Club as well, right? Rumble Club doesn't have a traditional looting aspect, but it has arena pickups that absolutely 100% wholeheartedly are ridiculous, right? And if you don't pay attention to them and use them, a lot of times you just end up dying. I'm so sorry that chat is not showing up on screen, guys. I don't know what the fuck is going on. It should be, and it's just not, and I don't know how to fix it. But thank you guys for typing in chat and stuff. I want that beam super to be like Genos old, a snipe across arenas for memes. Not necessarily insta kill, but just infinite range. It probably it looks like it has infinite map range per map, per like platform section you're in. It looks like it has full range across the, kind of like Mario super. Bust out disgusting team assist abilities to wall hack, teleport to your enemies. Okay, sure. Carry your compadre's dead useless Cavador to respawn beacon and give them another chance of life. Okay, so there's also respawns. There's a respawn system, which is something that Rumbleverse didn't have, and Multiverse, and Rumble Club doesn't have, right? Goop Cube, you can take them out of the goop, but once they're fully dead, they're fully dead. You can't do anything about that, right? Share items and power-ups when your gang gets absolutely starched. by one of the devs who's already played for 2,000 hours. The prototype version of Byte Breakers contains no in-game purchases. The future content may require separate purchase from in-game store and may be subject to availability. Okay. And I think this is really cool because of the fact that they're already showing. I know this is kind of a long talk segment, and I do apologize, but because they're already showing the game coming out here soon, or at least the playtest, the prototype playtest is coming on Friday. They already are giving us system requirements for what they want the game to be like now, right? Maybe this is going to be kind of what the minimum build looks like, and they'll build on top of it. That's why they don't have a recommended specification. So this will be the lowest it goes, but maybe they'll touch up on, polish of animations and smoothness of FPS and maybe speed up gameplay. I don't think the game inherently is slow. I think the animations are slow, and that's why it looks a little wacky. But here we have a Windows 10 or 11 or above, an i5 4430 or an FX 6300, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and either a GTX 960 2 gigabyte or an AMD R7 370 2 gigabyte, and it only requires 2 gigabytes of space, which is pretty cool because that's kind of small for a battle royale. Even a 40-person battle royale, 2 gigs is not a lot of space. So you could have this on your hard drive, and then hard drive, SSD, NVMe, fucking flash card, SD card. I don't care. You could have it wherever you would want to, and still have room for other games and stuff. Have fall damage as it reaches further, but you still go, oh shit. Yeah, see, I think a game like this, fall damage would be very awkward because it's a platform fighter. I don't know if they could have fall damage. You mean fall off damage for the ultimate? No, like look at this. I don't think this is gonna go multiple plats. I mean, I hope not. That seems silly. It's funny for the memes, I guess, but it's also silly because I mean you can just randomly get caught trying to get in from storm and just get sniped by this big ass beam. Even if you don't take a lot of damage, you still get hit, and now you're having to hold the glitch zone because you're getting stuck in hit stun. That's not good. Anyways, if you guys think this game looks interesting, remember to, yeah, I figured, that's why I corrected myself. Remember to go to the page. I hit wishlist. I mean, it might not ever come out like they said, but at least join playtest, right? Join playtest, play it, talk about it, find out if you're going to like it or not. Stream it. I think they even said that it's fully public. It's under no embargo. You're allowed to stream it, record it, talk about it with your friends, and that's a good thing. That means that this game can get a little bit of extra eyes and shine on it without having to deal with some sort of embargo, which is really cool. Anyways, I think that's been enough of me yapping about Byte Breakers. You guys should just go check it out come Friday. Maybe even if you don't get into the playtest, you see one of the cool platform fighter streamers who will probably get keys for the game that you watch, like a Coney, a TK Breezy, I'm only naming like a Zane, right? All the Melee guys, the Rivals of Aether and Brawlhalla people, Sandstorm. If they get a code and you watch them stream, go enjoy their stream and find out if the game in action, in motion, looks like something you'd want to enjoy. Do I think this is something I could enjoy? Possibly. I'm interested in the least. I can at least say that. And because I'm interested, I will be checking out this playtest if I get a key. So expect some videos or clips or streams of it on my channel, YouTube, and Twitch. Anyways, this has been BD Thuggish for the YouTubes talking about the playable prototype for Byte Breakers coming soon. Signing out and saying peace.